Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to a Punched Out Thursday to Die For, where we all use our punches and our dies to create our layout. And today, I'll be using both. I'm going to scrap this picture of my niece Cherokee. I'm going to use a Stampin' Up set called Teacups, I believe. Primitive Hearts that I got from Ella Connor here on YouTube. She blessed me with them. I love those things. And it's Echo Park homemade grown, something like that. Happiness is Homemade by Lori Whitlock. I wouldn't know that, but I used part of the branding strip for my layout, and so it's right there in front of me. I just went ahead and read it. You see that circle there? I really wanted it on my layout. But then I decided I really wanted a doily. I couldn't figure out how to get them both to work. So that big circle, yeah, it's going to come off of there. And y'all seen I cut a hole in there. Yeah, it caused a little bit of a problem. But if y'all don't tell I had to patch it, I'm not going to tell. I am cutting this gingham down. I used a border punch. It's Fiskars and it's kind of like an eyelet lace on the bottom. And see here, I'm trying to get the doily and the circle to work. Well, if my doily had been bigger, it would have worked better, but it wasn't big enough to fill the space in the way I wanted it to fill it in. So it is definitely going to get redone in a few minutes. I cut the primitive hearts out in 3 different pattern papers, and then I fussy cut some wood grain and put behind them. The It's just a small border, but I wanted it to look more homegrown, handmade. And I thought wood grain would do the trick. Um, and then, of course, then after I started the layout, I did, some prep. So my video wouldn't be quite as long and wouldn't take forever to upload. I decided I needed to ink the yellow in yellow, so I kind of went around there and I thought, well, if I do get some on the wood grain, it won't matter because it's yellow and it's light. It didn't matter because I'm going to use tea dye, I believe it is, on the wood grain part, and you can't tell that I got a little bit of yellow on there. Here's where I put that piece back in there. Yeah, and the thing is, I had laid the picture and stuff on there, see if I could kind of work around it. I think I could have if I tried a little bit harder because everything is covered and you cannot see where I cut it out. And the reason I cut it out was so I'd have the flowers to fussy cut for my layout. But I'm going to end up punching some flowers out instead since I put it back in there. The woes of a scrapbooker. I'm trying to figure out how to lay my hearts. I have put them on a layout before and put them all 3 together, but I think I wanted the length of the photo and was having a hard time getting them to go the length. And I am going to fill in. So they are going to go all 3 there because, that's what I wanted. And they are going to go the length of the photo and a little tiny bit more. Well, I'm not going to go all the way up to the top. That's why it's going to get to go a tiny bit more. Now, my photo there is of my niece Cherokee, as I said, and she had made a cake and there was icing left over. I mean, not just a little bit, quite a bit. Her sister's one took the photo though. And I mean, she's got a big piled up spoon there, putting some in her mouth. So she's licking the bowl. And I had the title planned because I'd seen it before. You only live once, lick the bowl. Well, then I found a piece of ephemera that had that. And I thought, well, I could just use that on my layout. So I thought about it and finally decided to do a different title and have that as my subtitle. Cherokee likes to bake. Well, she likes to cook. And the cake she made there, she made it heart shaped, put blueberries around it. Saturday, she made a strawberry shortcake and brought me some, so I was blessed there. It was some pretty good strawberry shortcake. I the die set from close to my heart has like a little teapot, teacups, fork, spoon, knife, and it also has a little tea bag, and that's what I've got there. And I stuck it on the teapot, forgetting all about the teacup. Yeah, so it's gonna get moved. I am just filling in the areas there so that my teapot can sit there. There wasn't, it was like a gap, and although I could put, you know, extra foam tape under there and probably held it up, I thought it needed something else. So I put that admit one, and I didn't really care whether it all showed or not. So half of it didn't, the one part's not going to show. And I moved the little tea bag onto the teacup now. And there is another little, well, it's looks like a miniature tag, and it says made with love. And I'm going to end up putting it on the teapot. I'm going to fussy cut it out. Well, right now I'm going to fussy cut it out. And I'm also going to fussy cut out something else, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I think I forgot about fussy cutting the other thing out. There was another thing on there I was going to fussy cut out, but I don't see it on the layout, so apparently I didn't do it. It was a cupcake that I was going to cut out. There's not going to be one on my layout, so yeah, I forgot all about it. I got sidetracked putting the string, the twine stuff on the little tag there. I The upper part seemed kind of on the bare side, so I'm putting the I love cooking up there, and I will go back and put some more stuff later, but I think that's all I put for right now. I thought I would put the fork, knife, and spoon there, but the knife is quite a bit bigger than the fork and the spoon. And so when I went to tuck them in, the knife was going to stick way up, or else it was halfway going to be down. And well, I think it all probably didn't fit very well. Not as well as it fit in my mind. So it's going on the right hand side, and I've got it cut out in the wood grain, and then my titles cut out in the wood grain. And I used diamond press, lowercase outline, I think is what it's called. And then I used the Tim Holtz cursive one for the tooth. So my title's Sweet Tooth, and then my subtitle's going to be above my title, and it's going to be You Only Live Once, Lick the Bowl. I use my 1/16 inch punch on the little tea bag, so I already had it out, so that's what I used on this. And it looked like it had like 3 little nails or something in the corner. And I decided to use brads instead, only they, had those little legs. And one of them was going to end up sticking out no matter which way I turned that brad. So I had to add another piece of paper underneath it just so my brads would fit without sticking out. I probably would have done it anyway, but the brads forced the issue where I had to. And I'm just tucking it behind the letter T. And it does have foam tape under it so that it sticks up just a little bit. And then my fork, knife, and spoon are going to go up above it. And I have a piece of twine laying somewhere. Oh, it's on the photo. And I'm going to put it on there, to make it look like they're tied. They're really not, because it's like a faux bow around it. But yeah, I just glued it on top of it. I had the clothespin dies out, and I just used the biggest one. I really thought I would be using the smallest ones when I bought them. But I seem to pull the biggest one out more than I do the others. Even though they're adorable and cute, usually the biggest one fits everything else I'm using. I think it was made for cards, so those are smaller so they can go on cards. This is when I went ahead and got my EK Success flower thing because, you know, I can't use the flowers that's behind the photo no more. Well, I guess I could because I could have pulled the washi tape off and just took it off the back. But I went ahead and punched them without thinking about that. And so it's just going to stay back there. I had cut out one of the teapots without the handle and without the spout so I could use it for like a, well, I had a plan for a sugar jar, but I guess it's just going to be a jar because I don't have sugar wrote on it. I'm using the top part of the branding strip, and that's where I'm going to put the happiness is handmade, or yeah, happiness is handmade on it, and then I'm going to put one of the little flowers there too. So I will have to make one more so that it could fit on there. But I think that's it. I think that's the last thing I do with the layout. I don't see anything else on there. Looking at the layout right now that I do. So, yeah, that's it. So I want to mention that down there below is everybody else that's doing the Punched Out Thursday to Die for. They will all be using their punches and or dies. And check them out and see what they done today with them. And pull yours out and use them too. But there's my layout with my niece eating the icing out of the bowl. And there's my title in the wood grain and the word tooth. I probably could have moved it over just a tiny bit more to the left. Y'all think maybe I could have, but at the time it seemed the perfect spot for it. And there's my sweet, and yeah, nice big letters. And then my teapot, you can see it there. That little blue thing on the teapot, I think it's supposed to be the steam coming up out of the cup, but it looked kind of like a heart, so I used it like a wonky heart on there and put the flower on top. But thank you all so very much for watching my video, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I appreciate that too. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But have a happy, scrappy week. Have fun checking out the others. See what they did with their punches and dies. Bye.